As the long Independence Day holiday stretch comes to an end, Charlotte Douglas is expecting large crowds today as a lot of flyers return home from their star-spangled getaways. But not all the passengers are cramming the airline terminal. There's a growing trend that allows more affluent flyers to swap the typical hectic airline experience for a more private, luxurious one.
Our Chief Transportation Correspondent, pilot Maycay Beeler, tells us why travelers with some pretty deep pockets are ditching business class for business jets instead, Maycay.
Yes, just imagine this. No long lines, no lost luggage, no one kicking the back of your seat or reclining into your lap, no bare feet being poked from behind, wiggling their toes under your armrest, which is hogged by your seatmate, of course. Well, you know, the list goes on and on. So it's a typical life of an airline passenger, but why be a slave to such torture when you can have the whole plane to yourself or shared with a few business associates, friends, family members? With a rise in semi-private carriers, it's never been easier to fly private. Now, according to a report by Condé Nast Traveler, once you've gotten the taste of the private jet lifestyle, it's easy to understand why wealthy travelers are so taken with it. Now, despite the hefty price tag and contentious carbon footprint, it's all about unmatched luxury, convenience, without the limitations and constraints of commercial airline schedules. Yeah, it's more than a luxurious ride. It's about your comfort and convenience. Leave on your time schedule, fly to the destination of your choice. Oftentimes, commercial airliners don't go to the places you want to go to.
Okay, all right. Maycay, we know that this is not cheap, and we're going to get to ticket prices in a minute, but here's the question. Is it really worth flying private? What are the perks? If you can afford it, is it worth it?
It is because of the perks, yeah.
Oh.
So here's the deal. You can split the costs with other people if you need to. You can have the whole plane to yourself if you can afford it. So what are the perks? The freedom to have a charter jet at your beck and call. Choose your own timetable, so you've got greater flexibility. The convenience to fly most anywhere 24/7. Here's a big one. Unmatched, enhanced privacy and security in a controlled environment. So efficiency, of course, it allows business travelers. You can maybe visit up to 3 cities in a day, be back home in time for supper, or to sleep in your own bed. There are other options. You can charter the whole plane, join a flight club, or buy a single seat.
Maycay, do we even want to know the price tag of any of those 3 options?
Many people are misguided about this because as a pilot, they say, Maycay, fly me for cheap. All right. Now, this varies widely.
Okay.
So get ready. Anywhere from $1,500
I'm out.
to $20,000 an hour if you're talking about a big luxury jet. Yeah, so it depends on the aircraft size, the type, the flight time, the distance, your destination. So of course, smaller, lighter jets have a lower hourly rates than the big long-range aircraft.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, all right, what's a light jet? I flew the light jet, the Honda jet, 6 passengers, $3,000 to $8,000 per hour.
Oh my gosh.
Depends on the jet. A mid-sized jet seats 7 to 9 passengers, up to $10,000 per hour. A large cabin jet holds 10 to 19 passengers, around $15,000 per hour. Now get this, often steep discounts are offered on empty leg flights when the crew just needs to return the plane to base or reposition the aircraft, if you happen to be going there.
So you get a deal then, I guess.
Yeah, if you happen to be going there.
All right, so do private flyers use the airline terminal? Do they go through TSA lines? Like, how's it all work? Do they have to still go through all that nonsense?
You have to go through it, but it's much less painful.
Okay.
So you might go to an FBO, fixed base operator. We talked about this the other day. Remember, Modern Aviation is rebranded now as the Charlotte Executive Terminal. It's kind of a private terminal for private, non-commercial flyers. So you bypass the standard TSA screening, but you do undergo specific security measures, background checks, identity verification, typically by the private charter company that you are flying.
And I'm sure companies may have their own individual rules. Overall, I mean, do they mostly kind of have the same freedoms? Like pets? Those allowed on most private?
This is the great thing. And I can tell you as a pilot of a private jet, we carried pets all the time.
Yeah.
And they're in the cabin, you know, and they come up and we get to pet them on the flight deck.
Certainly
but guess who
not
had to
expect-
clean up all the fur afterwards?
Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah, that'll
First
get ya.
officer. That's okay. I love animals. Yeah, you can bring your pet. Yeah.
Just vacuum later.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to envision what this typical passenger looks like. I'm guessing not like Savannah and myself. Maybe our budgets quite aren't there. But as a
Little tight.
pilot, when you flew those PJs, who was during COVID?
I
Who was
flew
like
during
your
COVID.
typical passenger during COVID?
Yeah.
All of 2020, I flew during COVID. These are people that obviously have deep pockets, but they didn't want the cooties of the airlines.
Oh.
You know what I mean? They didn't want to be so close to people and germs, and even though we all wore masks, they just wanted to be clean, and we made sure those airplanes were spotless. So people that, yeah, you got to have a little extra money that you can afford it, but
Little.
and you know who you're flying with.
Uh-huh.
You're not flying with. Oh,
Oh, Maycay, I will take my
If
business
you
somewhere else.
don't want Julian sticking his toes in between your seats.
I just don't know. Maycay said they wanted to be clean. They couldn't fly with the rest of us.
It had to be clean and sterile, and we took care of that. And we have special catering for them, their favorite snacks, or even one gentleman, it was his 70th birthday.
Oh.
And he didn't tell us, but I had the manifest. So while we dropped him off for his business, I went and got him a cake and champagne and brought it back. So when he came back to the plane,
Wow.
and we flew him back to Greensboro, he had the cake and the champagne.
So you get cake and champagne on your birthday. Meanwhile, on the rest of the airlines, you get half a cup of soda and a few crumbs.
Yeah, I will say American Airlines has never given me a cake just because I got to fly on my birthday.
The perks of private
Yeah.
There
flying.
you go. If you can afford it.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.